Happy New Year.
So I hope everyone had a restful holiday break. I know we definitely did. Our oldest daughter came from Spain to stay with us for about 3 weeks. So while she was here, we did some exploring in the area, and we visited a new to us chateau, which was really cool. So this chateau, they started building it in the 1300s, and it was built between the 1300s and the 1700s, and they say it stayed in the same family for 500 years. So a bit of a ruin today. Parts of it have been restored, but beautiful, and I'm excited to share that with you. Let's see. Also, while we were running around, we stumbled upon probably the coolest little free library that I have ever seen. And then we also found a new food vending machine, which has greatly expanded our food options. So if you thought the vending machines with the pizza were cool, stay tuned for this one. And then let's see what else. We are getting back into just kind of our normal day-to-day groove. So we did a bit of grocery shopping this week and took advantage of a really killer deal that's going to be going on for 6 weeks. So I'm going to show you my haul, and then we are back to some of our little projects in the garden. So we have one that we worked on over break that is kind of a fun, I think, and creative solution to a problem that we had. So excited to show you that. And then we also, of course, have a new recipe this week. So since everybody's kind of getting back into their work groove and maybe trying to look for easier ways to get their morning started, I have a really fun and easy breakfast to share with you. And this is something that my mom started making for several years, and now we also make it as well. So I think that's pretty much everything we're going to show this week.
I think that sums it up.
Yep. All right, let's get to it. This may be the coolest little free library that I've ever seen. So check it out. This is an old refrigerator that somebody has painted and filled with books. Super creative. Okay guys, this is the best new discovery. There are machines with paninis and tacos inside. So we are not even limited to pizza anymore. Very exciting. Check it out. All of these tasty sandwiches. Okay, let's see what we're gonna get. Actually, it was really good. We just got back from the grocery store, so I thought I would take a minute and show you our haul before I put everything away. So our local Intermarché grocery store, which is where we do, I would say about half of our shopping, periodically has these 80% off sales. So there'll be a category in the store and everything in that category is 80% off for a week up to a certain dollar amount. And so this week's category included pastas, rice, and most canned goods. So that was a really great opportunity for us to work on building up our stockpile. So the way this promotion worked this week is you got up to 25 euros worth of product at 80% off. And because it's such a broad category, it's really like they're letting you basically create your own sale because everybody could do something different with that category. So for us, I used it as an opportunity to stock up on some sauces and canned goods that we really were kind of lacking in our stockpile, because having been here for just 15 months now, I'm still kind of working on building up our supplies so that we're really only buying things when they're at their cheapest price and not feeling the pressure to buy at other times. So let me show you what we got this week. So I ended up with 6 of these big cans of white beans, which are basically about the equivalent of 2 of the like 15-ounce cans you would get in the US. I stocked up on tomato paste, 6 cans of that. I got some alphabet pasta for a recipe I'll be sharing soon. Several cans of corn, and then it looks like 6, 7, 8 jars of pasta sauce, or actually pizza sauce in this case. So all of this food came to about 25 euros before the promotion, and we got 80% back as a coupon to use next week on our order. So this sale is going to go on for 6 weeks. So each week is a different category. Last week was cleaners, and so I was able to stock up on a bunch of stuff then. And like I said, this time canned goods and pastas and dried things. So I think what I'll do is show you each week what we're getting in the sale, and you can kind of see how some of the grocery deals work out here in France.
This tree is in the upper level of the Jeep garden, and as you can see, it has a big hollow in it. Last year, the hollow was occupied by hornets, and since this is an area where I have to mow and Aaron gardens, we want to make sure that the hornets don't return this year. So we came up with the idea of building a fairy door to cover the hole. All right, I dug around in the barn a little bit, and I found something that I think we can use. This is just an old piece of landscaping fence that we had left over from a project last year. But I think we can turn it into a door, or at least something that looks like a door. I'm thinking maybe we put an arch on the top. And of course it still needs to be cut to length. It's a little long right now, so we'll probably end up cutting it off around here. But I think that's a good start.
Okay, so the fairy door project is complete, and I think it looks great. So Mr. Huff had a really good idea using the leftover landscape fencing to make the door, because since it has some flexibility to it, it was able to shape to the contours of the tree, which I think in this case was really important. Now, this was a completely no-cost project. We just used things that we had on hand. So the hinges and the doorknob were things that we had in our collection. And then I dug through my craft supplies and found some woodcraft pieces that I was able to use to fashion the little welcome sign and the windows. And the paint was also something we already had. So I think this looks really good. I'm happy to know that we're not going to have to worry about the hornets getting into this tree again this year. And I have some additional ideas to continue to decorate our little fairy house. So I'm thinking maybe some little window boxes with some succulents or something down the road. So it'll be fun to see how this comes together over time. So it's a new year and we are back to the tree work. If anyone is keeping count, this is the 35th tree that we've had to deal with since we got here 15 months ago. So I've shown you in the past, we've had quite a few trees that have come down in storms when we've had high winds. So, there's a tree there. There's several on the back of the property that we're still dealing with. But this one, while it is standing, is actually completely dead. So, and it's fairly tall. And I'll show you, this one also has a ton of ivy growing in it. So you can see all the ivy, and it actually extends pretty far up into the tree. And then as I showed you back in December, this is the tree that also has mistletoe in it. So here's some mistletoe up there and really, really far up into the tree. So this is going to be a long-term project. It has quite a few branches. Aaron plans to take it down himself. So he's working on it a bit at a time. You can see he's up in the tree now working. He started working on this, I think that was this week. And he's got a pile over here on the ground of branches he's taken down. So I'm just gonna work on it bit by bit until we get it down. But this is the only tree in the yard that poses a threat to the house. So we're looking forward to getting this out of here, so we'll have peace of mind. And I'm also looking forward to getting this one sorted out so that I can get in here and better deal with all of the ivy that's growing underneath this tree. Now, at one point this was a tree house for the previous homeowners. So you can see the remains of that. But yeah, unfortunately this is a tree that has reached the end of its life. And we didn't have any leaves on it whatsoever last year. So definitely a good thing to be sorting out now. So we'll keep you posted on this as we make some more progress. As for the first recipe back this year, I thought I would show you how to make overnight oatmeal parfaits. Now this is something that my family has made for years, starting with my mom, and I recently took the time to adapt the recipe to suit the serving sizes and the way we like to prepare it. So let me show you how easy this is to put together. So this recipe just requires rolled oats, which you pour into the bowl, and then to that you add milk, lemon juice, and sugar. So one thing I really like about this recipe is with the addition of the lemon juice and sugar, you get a really nice lemony flavor without all the tartness. So it's really a nice fresh flavor for the morning. Okay, so you're just gonna stir the ingredients together in the bowl until they're well mixed, which just takes a second. Okay, and then once you have that together, you're just gonna portion it out into servings. So what I like to do with this recipe is put it in half-pint jars. So this gives you a 1-cup serving, which is, I think, a really nice size for breakfast. Is sort of in the size range of like a yogurt. So you're just going to fill 1/4 of the jar approximately with your oatmeal mixture. Okay, so something like that. And this is going to make 6 servings. So you'll see I have 6 of these half-pint jars out. So I'm just going to fill each one. And this is something I love to make because it's nice to have it in the morning if you're rushing out the door somewhere. You can even take it with you when it's portioned out like this. But it's also nice enough to serve guests. So it's something, if you have family or friends visiting, that you can prepare the night before just to make mornings a little easier. All right, so there's that one. 2 to go. And I pretty much always make this around the holidays as well. Okay, now, as you heard me mention at the beginning, these are oatmeal parfaits. So the parfait portion of this is that we're going to be adding fresh fruit. So I have 3 cups of fruit set out. And you can use any kind of berry. You could even use, I have blueberries and blueberries and raspberries today, but you could use strawberries. You could even use something like mango or blackberries. And while I'm using fresh fruit today, you could even use frozen fruit, and it could actually go directly into the recipe frozen because it's going to be able to thaw overnight before you serve it. Okay, so I've got 3 cups of fruit here, so we're going to have basically a 1/2 cup of fruit in each one of these. So I'm just going to add another layer of about the same amount in blueberries to each one of these jars. Now, this recipe, as it's written, makes 6 servings, but the great thing about this is you could easily double or triple or whatever you need to do if you're trying to serve a large group of people. Okay, so once we have this layer, we should have about half of the jar full. There. All right, so now we're gonna go back and add another layer of the oatmeal. So again, we're just gonna do another like 1/4 cup layer. And we'll actually, I don't think I've mentioned, but we will actually a lot of times bring these with us if we're gonna be traveling somewhere. We have kind of road trip plans because it's something you can just throw in a cooler and save a little bit of money in the morning. Okay, so we're almost there on the 3rd layer. And so as I mentioned, I have a 1/2 cup of fruit going into each one of these, which I think is great because right off the bat in the morning, you're getting a good serving of fruit. And so, as I mentioned, these are 1/2 pint jars, and these are just basically the ball jelly jars, what I'm using for these. But you could just as easily serve this in like a champagne flute or a parfait glass or sundae glass if you're wanting to have a fancier presentation. Okay, I've just got a little more oatmeal to divide between these. See if this lasts a little bit. Okay, so that's all of the oatmeal, and then we're just going to finish with the remaining fruit. Just put a few blueberries in each one, and then we'll do raspberries for the rest. And I tend to use whatever fruit is in season at the moment. Obviously not the case today in January, but whatever we have growing in the yard or whatever is seasonal and at a good price at the grocery store. And I try to pack these pretty full of fruit. Okay, so as you can see, those come together rather quickly, and it just makes a really nice, healthy, and easy breakfast. So I will just screw the lids on these, and these will go in the refrigerator until morning, and then we'll just be ready for breakfast when we are. So as usual, I will include a link at the bottom of the video in the description so that you can get the recipe and try these out for yourself.